Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Jensen has up to about 30 minutes if she wants to respond. Does anybody need a comfort break? Everybody good? Ms. Jensen, you may proceed.
Don't worry, I don't get to start all over again. I just want to talk briefly about Miss McArthur's back because you heard the testimony of the chiropractor. He has not seen her in 9 years, or however long it was. And the fact that her mother takes a stand and says that she can't lift heavy things, and the fact that her husband takes a stand and says he has to carry the laundry basket because it hurts her back. Well, you also heard in her interview that she helped Taylor Wright move a bunch of boxes. So many boxes that they filled up this box truck. You also heard testimony from her cousin Kyle that she helped him move pool tables. And you also saw the interviews. She had no problem sitting in there for hours when her chiropractor from however many years ago said that she reported she had trouble sitting. Not saying she did not have an injury, certainly she did. But did it affect her ability to move Taylor Wright, who is the same size as her? Of course not. Mr. Brossett said there's no eyewitness. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? People don't typically kill people in front of others. I mean, does it happen? Sure. Did it happen here? No. Ashley McArthur took Taylor Wright way out in the middle of Cantonment on 23 acres of property. Of course there's no eyewitness. The only eyewitness is probably a horse that was out there. Again, she's not dumb. She went out there when she knew Kyle was not home, either because they spoke, because they were rekindling their relationship at that time. She knew he wasn't there. Either he told her, or she checked his location on Facebook. Mr. Brossett says there's no DNA, there's no fingerprints. Of course there's not. The state put the DNA analyst on the stand. The state doesn't have anything to hide. It is what it is. But you also have to remember, these search warrants, these swabs, all these things are 6 weeks after Taylor was murdered. And not only that, she's a former crime scene technician. You think she doesn't know what they look for? There were cadaver dogs out there on that property that did not find that body. This fish and wildlife officer just happened to be walking around and saw a little disturbance. Thank gosh. This code to Taylor's phone. Taylor Wright trusted Ashley McArthur. Taylor Wright had a key to Ashley's house. Taylor Wright was giving this defendant hundreds of thousands of dollars to hold because Taylor trusted her. Do you think for 2 seconds that Ashley McArthur is going to give Taylor a key to her house and not going to know Taylor's phone code? And even if she didn't, how hard is it to figure out when you're with someone what their code is? Look over their shoulder. Ashley McArthur had Taylor's phone. That's the only way that it's in Robertsdale, Alabama, at the same time she is at a wedding. No forensic evidence, Mr. Brossett says, of where and when Taylor was killed. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, the state cannot pinpoint the exact square foot where Ashley put the bullet in the back of Taylor's head. It's 23 acres. 23 acres of property in the middle of nowhere, where I'm sure if a firearm gets shot, no one thinks twice. She didn't take her out there to go pick up a lockbox. She took her out there to kill her. In the middle of nowhere. Can I tell you exactly on that piece of property where it happened? No. But you know it did. And then Ashley wrapped Taylor up in the hammock that was inside the barn. You saw the hammock straps. She wrapped Taylor up in that lightweight parachute-style material hammock. And she dragged her, hauled her, drove her, pulled her, whatever. And what happens when someone is dragged and they're wearing flip-flops? Shoes come off. Taylor had no shoes when her body was found. And Cassandra told you when she left the house that morning she was wearing flip-flops. Same clothes, shorts and a t-shirt. Same thing she was wearing when she left on September 8th. Found 6 weeks later in it's not even a grave. She didn't dig a hole. She just put her body there and covered it. Flip-flops missing. She took Taylor's body to the other side of the property because, again, she's a smart girl. She's got a criminal justice degree. She's not going to bury her right on the property. Her aunt's trying to hold weddings out there. So she puts her just across the property line on someone else's property in a wooded area. It's covered up. How did she get Taylor over there? There are wheelbarrows, riding lawnmowers, ATVs, four-wheelers. She didn't toss Taylor over her shoulder and carry her. Taylor's not a big girl. You've got her ID and evidence. You saw the picture of Ashley and Taylor standing by each other at the Alabama game. Almost the same size. She covered her up enough on the 8th, back in that wooded area. And then she went back later that afternoon to check her work. And then she was out there at 7 o'clock the next morning for 2 hours. What is she doing? She's making sure that nobody finds that body until she can get it covered. And then she went to Home Depot and then back out to the farm. She's got the key to the property. She's got the key to the ATV. She is the key to this murder. Mr. Barassa said, cocaine, this is just a bunch of drunk talk. Well, it would be, except the fact that Ashley then left with Audrey and went to Babe's and bought $250 worth of cocaine. That's not just talk, ladies and gentlemen. And let's get something real clear. Taylor Wright did not die by cocaine, okay? That's not the point of that. The point is this. The cocaine shows this defendant's premeditated intent to kill. She is thinking about this, talking about this the night before. She knows the next day she's picking Taylor up and they're supposed to be going to the bank. Mr. Barassa said, all these search warrants were executed at the defendant's house. Sure they were. She says, hey, come on in on the 18th. She doesn't have anything to hide because nothing happened there. Of course, come in. That's not where Taylor was murdered. That's not where anything is. And right after she killed Taylor on the 8th, what'd she do? She scooped up all the property, took it back to Cassandra. Dr. Maynard said she has seen a body skeletonized in 10 days in water. Dr. Maynard also said that the condition of Taylor Wright's body is consistent with her last known alive date of September 8th. It's not what the state believes. It's what the evidence shows. This honorable judge will not instruct you that the state has to present fingerprints or DNA or any specific type of evidence, so long as you as the jury are convinced beyond a reasonable doubt, based on the state's case, that this defendant is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. She will not tell you the state has to present 2 exhibits or 20 exhibits, so long as you as the jury are convinced beyond a reasonable doubt. She does not say that it has to be direct. She does not say that it has to be circumstantial. Just as long as the evidence is sufficient to prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that this defendant is guilty. Mr. John Barassa said in his opening, evidence can come to you in many different forms, and the state could not agree more. Circumstantial evidence is evidence, and it is overwhelming in this case. Digital evidence is direct evidence. The cell tower records, the cell phone records, video surveillance is direct evidence. Home Depot, Tom Thumb. All of these different pieces of evidence, ladies and gentlemen, did not just fall out of the sky and land on Ashley McArthur. Mr. Barassa said, well, we don't know if Taylor was even in the car at the Tom Thumb. Well, his client said she was. Devontae Sims, sure, nice guy, working at Home Depot, sees a pretty lady in the aisle, says, hey, do you need some help? She didn't ask him for help. And not only that, so he loads it in the car. Well, who's got to unload it? She does. And don't forget, again, there are wheelbarrows out there. It's a farm. Mr. Brossett said, well, she went to dinner with her husband later on the 8th, and she was normal. She was normal at the Home Depot. Just like she was normal in those interviews with law enforcement as she was lying to them. Calm, cool, collected. Ladies and gentlemen, you have everything you need. You have the facts, you have the evidence, you have your common sense. Now apply the law, deliver justice, and find this defendant guilty as charged.
All right, thank you.